How do you become a great business analyst? That's the question we're going to be answering today. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am the BA Tutor, and on this channel, I talk everything in the world of the business analyst. So if you guys are interested, please make sure to hit that big red subscribe button. It does help me out a lot. Okay, so as you see on the whiteboard behind me, I posed a question: how do you become a great business analyst? Okay, how to become a great BA. And I believe there are 5 traits, 5 qualities that really, to me, I've seen in every great BA I've known. And this is things that I work on to make sure that I'm a great BA. And so these are the 5 things I'm going to be sharing with you guys again. They're not in any particular order, but combined, I would say this would put you right on the right path to be a great BA. So let's get into them. So again, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 traits here for what makes a great business analyst. And if you guys need to know what a business analyst is or what a BA does, I've got plenty of videos explaining all of that on my channel. Go ahead and check out those videos. Let's dive into this now. Okay, so the first one is very simple, but something that I always harp on, and I've probably said this a million times, but it's a reason for me saying it a million times. Okay, it is have great communication skills. Okay, and there's a word that I want to kind of pull out here that I want you to focus on. This is the word: facilitate. Okay, as a business analyst, you are literally the mediator between 2 parties. At any given time, you're going to be the mediator between 2 parties. That could be the business stakeholders and the IT developers. It could be any other 2 parties. You're kind of in the middle. You need to be able to facilitate things. All right. You need to have those communication skills to facilitate things. You need to be able to talk in quote unquote different languages. I don't mean literally. I mean different languages in terms of what and how developers like to understand things, how business stakeholders like to understand things, how architects, how project managers, like any given time, you're the person in between all of these different roles. You need to be able to communicate with them and communicate well, and you need to know how to facilitate, because people will come at you and say a bunch of different things. You need to facilitate the conversation so that it moves forward to get what you need out of it, and you need to facilitate the conversation so people aren't stuck on a certain topic or certain aspect of it. All right, that all comes in this great communication skills aspect, but that's why I said facilitate. That is an important word, because as a BA, you're literally a liaison between the stakeholders and the developers, okay? And you need to know how to communicate, and you need to know how to facilitate. So I've seen this in every great BA. They know how to do this, all right? So that's the first one. Very, very important, okay? Let's move on to number 2 for a great BA. And this one is be able to adapt. Okay? Be able to adapt. And again, I'm going to put not one word, but 2 words here. Quick learner. This is very important because to me, you could probably say this applies not just to a BA, but any role. But folks, the reason I want to emphasize this is because of how much the world changes, okay? And even just with the business analyst role, right? This is something that we had a methodology that was the dominant one for years in the waterfall method, and then now everybody's going towards agile. So if you don't keep up, you're going to get left behind. You need to be able to adapt quickly to the different methodologies. You need to be able to adapt quickly to the different ways of doing things, and you need to be a quick learner. You need to be, because here's the thing. As you work at different companies, you're going to realize, well, even if most companies are working towards agile, there's still different applications this company uses versus that one, this one, that one. So just being able to do that and be a quick learner and know all those things is going to help you out a lot. Okay, but being able to adapt is huge. And also, this is not just applying for methodologies and things like that, but we're talking about being able to adapt to the different individuals that you're dealing with. As I mentioned, with all the different roles you deal with, there's a way you can adapt and act around the developers that could be different than how you act around the business stakeholders. That's different than how you act around the project managers. So you got to be this chameleon, if you will, to act the way you need to around all these different parties, because you need to treat them all differently. They're not the same, okay? You don't treat, two parties the same that have completely different roles. You know what you need to get out of them, okay? Like I've mentioned before, they kind of speak different languages, okay? And quote unquote, learning these languages is how you are going to be able to adapt. And obviously, I don't mean that literally. I'm talking about just the way you can communicate and how developers take things and how the business folks take things. Again, one team is very technical, one team is very business savvy. So that's what I mean by different languages, okay? And that all comes under this being able to adapt, all right? Be that quick learner. So that's number 2 of how to be a great BA. All right, let's move on to number 3 of how to be a great BA. Organized. I can't stress this enough. This is something that if you don't get ahead, you will fall behind and it will bite you. As a business analyst, this is a role where you are, expected to be able to, kind of juggle a lot of things here, and you're dealing with documentation and you're dealing with multiple parties, and it gets really confusing and really overwhelming really fast. And how do you make sure that you can understand all that? You stay organized. Organization is very important, folks, because as I mentioned, it's going to help you stay on top of things. So if you're this type of person that if you don't write something down, you forget, write it down right away. If you're someone that, needs to type it all out or write it on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever you can do to help you stay organized and give yourself that structure, that routine, because that is going to make you somebody that's more efficient. Okay. If you're missing things, if you're not following up, if you're not doing certain things, it is going to come back to bite you. So organization, again, I know this is a very general trait, but as a business analyst, this helps you out a lot if you are organized. I'm not saying it has to be there, but again, we're talking about a great BA, not just a good one, not just an average one. You got to be organized. All right, let's move on to number 4. And a lot of people miss this one. Business knowledge. All right, what do I mean by this? Whatever company you're working at, it's important to know the workings, the in and out of that company. So a lot of people just assume as a business analyst, you can just jump in and then, hey, whatever project you're working on, whatever requirements that they give you, just focus on that and that's it. Well, yes, but also if you have business knowledge of how the business works, how the company makes money, how, they're generating revenue, well, it's going to make things a lot easier for the why. All right. Before you even start a project, you need to understand the why. Why are we doing this? Instead of just, hey, I know I need to get requirements from the stakeholders. Let me go ahead and grab those and that's it. No, understanding the why is going to make it a lot easier for you to understand the requirements and make sure you don't miss anything. All right. So know the business knowledge, not just of the project you're working on, but in general of how the company works. Okay. And, you could be at different companies, but this gets overwhelming for a lot of people. You need to take that necessary time and get the business knowledge of the company that you're working at. Because I'm telling you, it is going to help you when it comes to documenting those requirements. All right, so business knowledge, very important. And number 5, this kind of goes along with the other thing I was talking about. You got to be versatile, okay? And let me add a little context here. Play multiple different roles, all right? You have to be versatile more so now than before because of how this role is changing and evolving, folks. Here's the thing. There's kind of overlap in terms of the business analyst role and a couple other roles, right? There's the Scrum Master, you've got the product owner, you've got the product manager, you've got all these roles, the project manager. And sometimes as a business analyst, you have to be able to execute some of these roles, right? Whether that is, let's say on a project, your project manager's out, well, you might need to play their role for a couple of days and be able to handle things until they're back. And this goes along with the other things as well. So it's not just, hey, I'm the business analyst. All I'm doing is I'm just writing my requirements and that's it. There's nothing else. No, you have to be versatile and you have to play multiple roles because the job is going to move towards that. It's going to demand that. And in an agile format, more so than ever before, right? As a scrum master, right? You need to be able to play that role sometimes. You need to be able to play the role. Like there's a fine line between being a different role and playing the role for a certain amount of time. This is not saying, hey, you know, you need to learn everything about what a project manager does and everything about what a scrum master does or everything about what a product owner does. No, this is just saying, listen, you have to have a working knowledge at least of what these roles do. Not exactly to the last detail of the roles themselves, but a working knowledge, because what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to kind of, you know, play those roles when, you know, your certain team members are out or they're missing and they need you to kind of pick up the slack. All right. And it's only going to, you know, make you that much of a better business analyst because you'll know, hey, that's what everyone does. Right. So it's kind of like when you're playing a sport and you play one position, but you know exactly where everyone else is supposed to be. And it makes you better at your job because you know, hey, if somebody's messing up, I know where they're supposed to be. So playing multiple different roles, being versatile, that's very underrated. So there you have it. These are the 5 traits on how to become a great business analyst. And I promise you, if you have these 5 traits, there is absolutely no way you're not a great business analyst because this will put you ahead. All right. Again, have great communication skills, be able to facilitate, be able to adapt, be a quick learner, be organized, have the business knowledge of the company you're working at, and be versatile. So there you have it, folks. Let me know if this helps. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this. As always, thank you for watching.